notable. Our world is dotted with many honorably notable heroes. Many hold their stardom for a day or two on the evening news. Others will hold it for a year as they conquer obstacles. Some may even hold it for a lifetime, as they're called the founder of a particular idea. And few will even hold the star-studded heroicness that lasts for generations. Those like Washington and Jefferson, and some might even say, more recently, Superman and Batman. Heroes blanket our lives, and while some, like these, only come once, others are fighting overseas, and many more are fighting fires here at home. But our world has another hero, one that is in your own community, probably right next door, maybe even in your own home. A blood donor. Yeah, you know if you're one of us. Myself, I've been a blood donor since I was 16 years old. That's 11 donations for me. But what makes a blood donor a hero? Two things. First, it is your own will. You're taking a part of you and you're giving it to someone in need. Second, there's what you're giving. Blood. Anyone who's a blood donor knows that giving blood can save up to 3 lives. How? How can just one glass of blood save up to 3 lives? The body has over 10 of these glasses in it. So, how can one of these save 3 of them? How is it that someone can accept my blood, even if we have the same blood type? I've never met them before. We all have different DNA structures too. And with only a fraction of blood donors donating, what kind of a strain is it putting on blood supplies at hospitals and medical clinics? Not only in my community, but around the nation. I know what you're thinking. It seems like he's asking a lot of questions. But when you're answering a question of this magnitude, I don't think you can answer just one question. You have to have a good, solid foundation. And in order to do that, you have to ask a lot of other questions. In this way, once I've learned the answer to my question, I'll also have learned a broad range of other things related to the topic. And then when I go and tell the world about my findings, I'll not only be able to tell them the answer to a question, but a broad range of subjects related to it. So my question then, what happens to my blood from the time that it leaves my body until it goes into a patient's at the hospital? I know this subject is not a traditional topic that most teens think about, but ever since I began donating blood over 2 years ago, it's made me wonder. And since then, blood, from its creation to how it works, has interested me. And now that I'm pursuing a major in chemical engineering, it's still at the top of my list. So, University of Dayton, I hope that you can help me to answer my question, to see just what happens to my blood from the time that it's donated from my body until it's transfused into another's at the hospital. The best way to answer that question is to ensure that my answer hits all the points that I intended to answer from the beginning. The best way to do that is to start from a large source of knowledge so that I can get a good, broad understanding of just what it is I'm about to set out and answer. The internet is the colossus of information and knowledge of everything. Nothing on the planet has more information than right there. I'm sure that I could find what happens to my blood on the internet, but I don't think it's the answer that I'm looking for. Chances are, what I find on the internet will be too scientific or too in-depth to start with. It'll be talking about antibodies and hemoglobin, and that stuff I'm not really looking for. The next level would be to visit local blood drives. We have one that comes to our community and one that comes to our school every year. This would be a great start to figure out a mapping of where exactly my blood goes and who all handles it before it reaches the patient. Hopefully at this stage, I can also gauge how many blood donors are donating and whether blood supplies are increasing or decreasing. Now that would be a great way to get a look at local blood donations. But I know enough to know that my blood doesn't even stay local. All blood, in the Miami Valley area at least, gets sent to the Community Blood Center in Dayton, Ohio. All the blood from the region gets sent right there. Now I assume they sort them, but what else do they do with the blood there? Also, I can get a regional look to see how blood donations are increasing or decreasing in supply. But through all these processes, at some point my blood has to make it to the hospital, to a patient. Maybe here, I can find out how my 1 pint can save up to 3 lives. Also at a hospital are pathologists and hematologists. Hopefully they can tell me how my blood can go into another's body without their body rejecting it. And finally, after tracking my blood, from the minute that it leaves my arm on the donation table, through all the hands and the coolers and the laboratories that it goes through, I anticipate to answer just what happens to my blood on its way to the patient. I hope that I get the chance to go on the journey and have my question answered. And as a student at UD, I could continue to research blood and its effects on the human body. In the end, hopefully I can educate young adults, both high school and college students, on the benefits of giving blood today, and how by giving blood, you not only save lives, but you join the ranks of the heroes that do it every day. So thank you, University of Dayton, and goodbye.